ഹായ് ഡേവിഡ്. എൻ്റെ പേര് ഡേവിഡ്. ഡേവിഡ് ഷാർലറ്റ് നോർത്ത് കരോളിനയിലെ റിഫോം തിയോളജിക്കൽ സെമിനാരി സ്റ്റുഡൻ്റ് ആണ്. ഞങ്ങൾ ഇവിടെ ഒരു കോൺഫറൻസിന് വന്ന സമയത്ത് കണ്ടുമുട്ടി. അപ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ 2-3 ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസിന് ആൻസർ പറയുന്നു. അത് എന്തൊക്കെയാണെന്ന് ഞാൻ ചുരുക്കമായിട്ട് പറയാം. ഇന്നത്തെ പ്രൊട്ടസ്റ്റന്റിസവും ഓൾഡ് പ്രൊട്ടസ്റ്റന്റിസവും തമ്മിലുള്ള വ്യത്യാസം എന്താണ്? ഓൾഡ് പ്രൊട്ടസ്റ്റന്റിസത്തിൽ റിഫോമേഴ്സ് എന്തിനെയൊക്കെയാണ് ഊന്നി പറഞ്ഞത്? കാറ്റക്കിസംസും കൺഫെഷൻസും എന്തുകൊണ്ട് അവർ കൂടുതൽ പ്രാധാന്യം? അതേപോലെ തന്നെ സോവർണിറ്റി ഓഫ് ഗാഡ്. ഇന്നത്തെ ഇവാഞ്ചലിക്കലിസം, ഓൾഡ് പ്രൊട്ടസ്റ്റന്റിസം എന്താണ് പറയുന്നത്? ഇത് തമ്മിലുള്ള വ്യത്യാസം എന്താണ്? അതുകൂടാതെ റിഫോം തിയോളജിക്കൽ സെമിനാരി എങ്ങനെ നടക്കുന്നു, പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഷാർലറ്റ് നോർത്ത് കരോളിനെ, ഇതിനെക്കുറിച്ചാണ് ഡേവിഡും ഞാനും തമ്മിലുള്ള ഇന്നത്തെ സംഭാഷണം. നിങ്ങളത് മനസ്സിലാക്കുക. താങ്ക് യു.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
So what is this Reformed Theological Seminary?
Yeah, so we're New Aberdeen College. We're a classical Reformed Christian college for 4-year degrees for college students.
So can I ask some questions?
Please.
Yeah. What is the difference between modern Protestantism and old Protestantism?
Yeah, no, that's good. I feel like a lot of modern Protestants, we've simplified things so much. Sometimes in a good attempt to try to have like a very simple gospel. You just need Jesus.
Yeah.
I think some people want to dig deeper. They want to know more about who is Jesus, who is God, how do we understand reality, how do we understand morality. And so old Protestantism has all those resources. Some people forget that there's all these like really old wise people in the past that written great books that have a lot of wisdom for us. So that's sort of what we're doing. We're going back to John Calvin, Martin Luther, all of these old people, even Aquinas and Augustine, all these really old theologians to get their wisdom.
What changed this modern evangelicalism and old Protestantism?
Yeah, that's fair. I think we've just lost the focus on really digging deep into theology. Sometimes we focus so much on what we do and we forget why we're doing it. And sometimes we even kind of end up with an empty understanding of it. It can be kind of hollow. And so I think that old view is we really try to get people to learn how everything fits together. It makes your actions so much more meaningful when you know what you're doing.
Another question: why old Protestantism emphasizing catechisms and confessions, but new Protestantism is not emphasizing catechism and confessions?
Yeah, that's good. I feel like confessions are just like we're listing out what we believe. So you have like the Westminster Confession and 39 Articles of Anglicanism and the Second London Baptist Confession, which is, by the way, they're very similar. They believe most of the same things. This is what the old Reformed confessions. We wanted to write those down because everyone has a confession. Everyone believes things. Some people don't even realize when those might be inconsistent with what they believe. So we wanted to write them down, find those things, and then the catechisms and how you teach people about those things. How do you teach your church what we believe? Why do we believe it? Really dig deep into that theology. That's the powerful thing that I think we used to do, and we've gotten out of the habit of. We need to recover that.
So, thank you very much. Nasa, what do you think about the sovereignty of God in modern perspective? The way we believe sovereignty is God controls everything, He owns everything, He is the final authority. The way the modern evangelicals consider sovereignty is different way. What is your opinion about sovereignty of God?
That's good. Yeah, I feel like if you don't have the old wisdom of like smart Christians to pull back to, it ends up with like you can either choose God is sovereign over everything and therefore He's responsible for evil, or God's this kind of like small God that really fit into reality, but He's not really responsible for evil because He's not really powerful enough to stop it. I think a lot of people end up with a small view of God because they don't know how to understand the big view of God. But I think if you're reading the old theologians like Augustine and Aquinas and John Calvin and Martin Luther, you end up with a really cool view of the sovereignty of God. It makes sense. There's ways to understand how God relates to the world. There's ways to understand that God desires what is good for us and hates what is evil and is willing to make things right. And His sovereignty is a comfort and His mercy is so much more powerful when you realize that you don't deserve the kind of the goodness and the forbearance that He shows to us.
Yeah.
So I think that big view of God, it's harder to approach, but it's so much more meaningful to understand.
Yeah, one more question. Are you Anglican?
There's no judgment.
Presbyterian or Baptist?
That's a good question. So New Aberdeen, we're Reformed. We think if you can like get back to what the old Protestants used to believe, there's a lot of common ground. And so there's like a Second London Baptist Confession, which is probably more my tradition. But we have people at the college that are Anglican, people that are Presbyterian, they have the Westminster Confession, and all of them agree on who God is and what the gospel means, how we are saved through Jesus Christ. So there's so much common ground, but it's cool to realize there's some things we can also disagree on that aren't important. If we can just agree on the core understanding of who God is and how it's saved.
What is going on right now here?
Yeah, so this is the Kredo conference, and I feel like it's sort of like one of our colleges. People from all kinds of different denominations, all coming to agree there's this really cool old edition of Christianity. Maybe all the modern stuff that's floating around is a little shallow. We want to go back to the old books and the old theology that's always been there for us, waiting for us to recover.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Nice to meet you.
God bless you.